Have you ever taken a hearing test and received a confusing set of numbers and graphs? If so, you're not alone. Today I'll explain hearing test results so you can understand your hearing health better. Did you know that approximately 500 million people worldwide experience disabling hearing loss? If you notice any changes in your hearing, taking a hearing test is the first step. Understanding your hearing test results is equally important and comes next. When it comes to your health, knowledge is power. A hearing test, often performed by us, the audiologists, measures your ability to hear sounds at different frequencies and intensities. But what do those numbers and graphs in your test result actually reveal? Let's find out. The hearing test result is called an audiogram, a graph that displays your hearing ability across various frequencies. Frequencies represent the different tones we hear around us, from low to high-pitched sounds. Audiograms are used by audiologists to identify the type, degree, and configuration of a hearing loss. And they serve as a vital tool for diagnosing hearing issues and planning appropriate interventions. They are also useful and important for monitoring hearing changes over time. The audiogram reveals your hearing thresholds. What are thresholds, you might ask? These are the softest sounds you can hear at different frequencies. Each ear is tested separately, and the results are plotted on the graph. The graph typically has frequencies displayed on the horizontal axis, ranging from low to high frequencies, and intensity on the vertical axis, going from soft sounds at the top to loud sounds at the bottom. Loudness of the sound is in decibels, and frequencies are in hertz. A mark is made for each ear. An O typically represents the right ear and X the left ear. The closer these marks are to the top of the graph, the softer the sounds you can hear, indicating better hearing. Human hearing spans frequencies from as low as 20 Hz to as high as 20,000 Hz. The frequencies between 20 to 500 Hz are considered low. Medium frequencies are 500 to 2000 Hz, and high frequencies range from 2000 Hz up to 20,000 Hz. It's worth noting that human hearing is most sensitive in the range of about 500 Hz to 4000 Hz, so around the middle frequencies, which is why sounds in this range, such as human speech and emergency sirens, are especially easy for us to detect. The hearing test is usually conducted between 250 to 8000 Hz. Just to give you some examples, human breathing is around 250 Hz, so very low. Baby's cry is approximately 500 to 1000 Hz, so also more on the low side. Emergency vehicle sirens are usually between 1000 and 3000 Hz, so more middle frequencies. And cricket chirping is about 3000 to 4000 Hz, so high frequencies. These can of course vary, but it gives you just some idea. But what is considered normal hearing, and what should you be concerned about? Let's break it down. When you're told you have a normal audiogram, it means your hearing thresholds are within 20 decibels across all tested frequencies. This means you can hear sounds softer than 20 decibels. This might be hard to imagine, but it's very soft. Audiograms are typically divided into zones to classify the degree of hearing loss. These zones often include normal hearing, mild, moderate, severe, and profound hearing loss. The specific decibel ranges for these zones can vary a bit around the world. On an audiogram, we measure sounds lower than 0 decibels, like -5 and -10 decibels. If you receive results like that, you might wonder, what exactly does it mean? How is it possible to hear better than complete silence, which 0 decibels might make you think? Actually, A result below 0 decibels on an audiogram actually indicates that your hearing sensitivity is better than the average normal hearing level, which is set at 0 decibels. This value serves as a reference point for normal hearing, but it doesn't mean the absence of sound. These negative values mean you can hear sounds even softer than what the average person with normal hearing can detect. Does that mean you have super hearing? Not really that either, sorry to disappoint you. It rather indicates a heightened sensitivity within the typical human hearing range. On an audiogram, we can also differentiate between different types of hearing losses, giving us an indication of a possible cause. The main types of hearing loss are sensorineural hearing loss and conductive hearing loss. Audiograms can help differentiate between conductive and sensorineural hearing loss by comparing air conduction and bone conduction hearing thresholds. In an audiometric test, air conduction measures the entire auditory system by playing sounds through headphones. This is how we typically hear every day, as the sound travels from the outer ear all the way up to the hearing center in our brain. Bone conduction bypasses the outer and middle parts of the hearing system, directly stimulating the inner ear through a vibrator placed on the mastoid bone behind the ear. This is here. In cases of sensorineural hearing loss, both air conduction and bone conduction thresholds will be typically elevated but remain relatively close to each other, indicating that hearing levels are similar both by air and bone conduction. With conductive hearing loss, however, air conduction thresholds will be worse than bone conduction thresholds, indicating some sort of problem that prevents sounds from traveling to the inner ear via air conduction. If you're not sure about how exactly our hearing system works, then I suggest you check out the video where I talk about what's going on in your ears. I will link it here also. You might hear or see written on your test result that you have an air-bone gap in your hearing. What does it mean? The term air-bone gap refers to the difference between air conduction and bone conduction thresholds at the same frequency. That's exactly like what I explained just before, where hearing is better via bone conduction but not as good via air conduction. An air-bone gap is a clear sign of conductive hearing loss, and identifying it is crucial because it helps determine the possible treatment options. I hope this information helps you better understand what you can find out from your hearing test results. Whether your hearing test results indicate normal hearing or some degree of hearing loss, seeking guidance from an audiologist is beneficial. They can provide personalized recommendations, including hearing aids, assistive listening devices, or just protective measures to safeguard your hearing. I know I keep repeating myself, but in a world filled with sounds, your hearing help is invaluable. By understanding your hearing test results, you can be more informed to make decisions that can enhance your quality of life. Thank you for joining me on this journey to decode your hearing test results. Remember, your hearing health matters, and with the right knowledge, you can take charge of it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable insights into your well-being. Comment below so I can see what additional questions you have. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.